disgusting!
He said he
got that!
I got that.
Wait, guys, wait, guys, did you watch the new superhero movie?
What one? Which one?
Like, you guys don't know?
No.
Came out like a week ago, I think.
About a week ago.
Hey, no, I want to hear about this. What movie was it?
It was shoot, I forgot. It was Man of Steel.
And then come out like a couple
What,
years
that
ago?
cat?
No, I'm talking about the one that came out last week though.
The musical?
No, there's a musical?
Musical?
You should go
It came
see
out last week.
I saw it.
No, but guys, legit, there's actually a movie.
There's always. Wait. Are you talking about the one that came out 5 years ago?
No, the one that came out a week ago.
The one that came out was a musical.
No, it wasn't. It was the movie!
What are you talking
Which
about?
one?
It's the Russian premiere of the Man of Steel.
Russia.
You know? Stalin.
What?
Oh my.
You're not funny.
Get out.
Welcome back! First of all, if you're watching this episode, muchos gracias for your support. Last time we covered the Russian Revolution, its causes, and our dear friend Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Lenin. Although his revolution sought to rid Russia of its tyranny, he might have cursed Russia with something even worse. The Man of Steel, Joseph Stalin. Well, let's get Stalin and get to the intro. Okay, I'm really sorry about that pun. I had to, okay? Blame Joanna. Anyways, Jugashvili, or Joseph Stalin, as the world would know him, was born in the Soviet of Georgia. And no, not the Georgia like the state of Georgia. Unfortunately. Stalin had a poor childhood as he grew up in poverty, and his father was a drunkard and would often abuse him and his mom. In fact, it might have been because of his father that he was such a cruel ruler. Stalin, although born a Christian, would soon renounce his Eastern Orthodox background and declare himself an atheist. Once his power was complete, Stalin would openly persecute the Eastern Orthodox Church, almost wiping out the institution itself. Stalin would also use deportation to transport undesirables to more remote areas of the USSR, including work camps or gulags in Siberia or other Central Asian Soviets. You hear that, Jason? You don't edit these videos fast enough, I'm going to send you to a gulag as well. Anyways, Stalin is also famous for his Great Purge. Not really famous, more like infamous. This saw the secret police and military kill millions of people who Stalin saw as a threat, or were unloyal, or were political enemies. This involved the murder of high-ranking military officials within the Red Army itself, crippling the leadership of the military. There were even rumors that the Great Famine that spread across the USSR were Stalin's doings. Okay, yeah, so we get it. Stalin, sucked. Despite all his terrible actions, Stalin was still revered as a hero of the Soviet Union. This was mostly due to, the mass distribution of propaganda indoctrination that was employed by the government. Stalin was painted as a hero that saved the Soviet Union. Schools would teach the children the importance of sacrificing for the Communist Party. In fact, every day children would write the following: "Thank you, Comrade Stalin, for my happy childhood." Stalin was elevated to hold the same importance as God in the eyes of Russians. Stalin would also attempt to modernize Russia as it was far behind compared to its fellow European countries. Joseph Stalin would soon become an influential character in the Bolshevik Party. Joseph Stalin and Matvey Muranov would soon become the chief editors in the Pravda, which was the Soviet propaganda newspaper. Now, Stalin was a shady character, and Lenin didn't really like him either. He thought he was too ambitious and untrustworthy, even as his health deteriorated. During the second half of 1922, Lenin began to experience strokes that got people wondering about the future of the USSR. In response, a minor power struggle began, especially between Stalin and Trotsky. Trotsky, hopefully you should remember him, he's the one that led the Red Army to victory in the Russian Civil War. Stalin would often visit Lenin, who laid sick, to act as a speaker for the outside world and to, suck up to him. However, as time went by, the relationship went south. That's what happens when you suck up, kids. Lenin would write a testament claiming Stalin was rude, ambitious, and excessive with power, and Stalin should be removed from the position of general secretary. Stalin managed to prevent the testament from being ever revealed to the public, thankfully. On January 21st, 1924, Lenin died of a stroke and the real power struggle began. Stalin managed to seize power and exiled his opponent Trotsky from the Soviet Union. Stalin transformed the Soviet Union into a totalitarian state in which all aspects of life were controlled by the state. Stalin, single-handedly, is the biggest hypocrite, being a revolutionary that saved Russia from the rule of oppressive government by becoming one himself. Stalin created secret police to monitor his citizens and ensure the public opinion was always pro-Stalin and pro-communism. The secret police would often kill those who opposed the government. Mass censorship was introduced as all media was soon controlled by the government, as phones were tapped to monitor every action civilians did. Stalin introduced altered photographs in which old photos that contained political enemies were to be edited. The resulting product would be the same photograph but with the undesirable removed. It's like being unfriended on Google+, but you know, worse. Does anyone actually use Google+? One of Stalin's plans included the 5-year plan. This plan set output goals for obtaining important industrial resources, especially coal. However, these goals were impossible to achieve. But Stalin's word was law, so workers had to carry it out anyway. Surprisingly, the plan boosted industry exponentially, and although the requirements weren't made, industrial output was greater than ever. Collectivization was also introduced as the government wanted to increase industrial output. This government would seize all farmland and force peasants to work on these collective farms. This was met with extreme negative backlash from the peasants who had to work on the farms, especially the kulaks. Kulaks, not gulags, kulaks, were rich land-owning farmers who were mostly unaffected by the collectivization of farmland. However, Stalin opened a new persecution against kulaks, claiming that he would erase them from Russia and eliminate them from the social ladder. This process was known as dekulakization. In many ways, the Russian Revolution is very similar to the French Revolution that we learned about. Both saw them ridding themselves of an oppressive government, only to land back at square one. Keep in mind that history repeats itself, and be sure to look out for these patterns as we advance through the year. Today we learned about Stalin's rise to power along with his brutal policies. Now that we covered Russia, it's time to cover the next country that in the future will be famous for its communist policies, and still is. I'll see you next time.
Okay.